Oh, that's what my Sephardic-Turkish grandparents would say when they ate something absolutely delicious, and this definitely calls for it. Mm, mm, maybe even two. Oh, the guava and cream cheese borreca, the Cuban-Jewish mashup you never knew you needed. Sally, that girl, in the kitchen. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sally, that girl, in the kitchen. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to make the guava and cheese borreca, the Cuban-Jewish mashup that you never knew you needed. Yes, a delicious Sephardic-Turkish style borreca dough filled with guava and cheese, or guayaba and cheese, as my Cuban-Jewish grandparents would call it. Guayaba y queso crema. Delicious. The same yummy, flaky, gorgeous golden dough that we use for borreca, but we're going to fill it with guava paste and cream cheese. And this is going to be a delicious dessert borreca that you are going to love. It is so over the top yummy. You are not going to believe it. And it's easier to make than you think. The dough comes together in a flash. We don't have to cook a filling because we're using guava paste and cream cheese. And before you know it, you have a yummy tray of these delicious guava and cream cheese borrecas that everyone is going to love. So I am super excited to teach you how to make it. So let's not wait another second and let's get started. For the dough part of today's recipe, you will need 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a cup of vegetable oil, plus an extra tablespoon or so if needed, a half a cup of lukewarm water, and 1 egg for an egg wash. And for the filling part of today's recipe, you will need 8 ounces of cream cheese, which you should buy in block form, and 8 ounces of guava paste, also in block form. I recommend that you keep the cream cheese and the guava paste chilled in the refrigerator until it's time to portion them. You will also need a large baking tray, a cooling rack. I'm going to be using a handheld roller, which I absolutely love. It's what I prefer, but you can also make these borrecas fully by hand, or you can use a rolling pin instead. You're going to need a small bowl and a pastry brush along with a fork, a couple of wet measuring cups, some dry measuring cups, some measuring spoons, a large bowl with a lid, or if you don't have one with a lid, you can use a clean kitchen towel instead, some parchment paper, 3 long thin knives, and some oven mitts. You'll also need a small plate on which you will be portioning the guava. Now that we have all of our ingredients and tools together, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is add your 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour to your large bowl, and onto that you want to add a half a teaspoon of salt, and then use what I like to call my trusty fork, which is basically a serving fork. If you don't have one, a regular fork is fine, but it works really well with a serving fork. Then you want to add to that a half a cup of vegetable oil. That's what my grandmothers used to use, but you can use avocado, whatever kind of oil you want, whatever you're more comfortable using will also work fine. So then you're going to use your serving fork and you're going to mix the ingredients together. And what you're looking to do is to form sandy pebbles. So you're going to see that the ingredients start to incorporate. The goal is to not see loose white flour. So be patient, but if you see that you still have a lot of loose flour in your bowl, then you can add another tablespoon or so of oil to help incorporate that flour, and then just continue with your fork and bring the ingredients together, and you're going to see that that little extra touch of oil transformed the color and the texture. Now I have the sandy pebbles that I was looking for. I broke up any of the bigger clumps and we're good to go. This is the color and the texture that you're looking for. And then once you see this texture, here's a close-up look of what it should look like, then you're ready to move on. So now we're going to measure out a half a cup of water, and we're going to take that, we're going to pop it in the microwave and warm it up for about 30 or 40 seconds. You want it lukewarm, not piping hot, and then you're going to add it right on top. Then once again, grab your trusty fork and then just use it to incorporate all of the ingredients, scraping the bowl as you go along to pick up any sandy pebbles that are not incorporating into the dough, and to just scrape the bowl down. So what you're looking to do is to bring everything together, and then once you feel like they've started to come together, you clean off your fork and switch to your clean hands. And you're going to use the dough itself to pick up any remnants of dough that are sticking to your bowl. You want to make sure you get all of that beautiful dough. And then you're going to gently use your hands to break up any clumps that you might feel in your dough, just very gently. I'm not overworking the dough. I'm just feeling it to make sure there's no little clumps. And if I find any, that I just use my fingers to break up those little clumps. So now I have all of my dough incorporated. I have this beautiful dough ball. It's soft and incredible to work with. I'm going to place it back in the bowl, and I'm going to cover it either with a lid or a clean kitchen towel, or you can use plastic wrap, whatever. Just make sure you cover your bowl. And then once that's covered, we're moving on to work our filling. So we have 8 ounces in block form of cream cheese, and this block of guava paste has 14. So half would be 7. You want a little more than half to make 8 ounces. I'm not going to weigh it. You can if you want to. I'm just going to eyeball it. So now you have your cream cheese, which has been chilled. It's been in the fridge because it's easier to cut when it's chilled and to work with. So I'm scoring it because I want to cut it lengthwise in 3. So there we go. I scored it first to just make sure that I'm dividing it kind of equally in 3 parts. It doesn't have to be perfect. So then I cut it this way, and then what I do is I turn it a quarter turn, cut it down the middle, and then each side I'm cutting in 3. So I'm just going to score it first, make sure those cubes look somewhat equal to each other. And then once I've scored it, I can just go ahead and go back and cut through. So the goal here is to make 18 cubes of cheese because I'm going to be making 18 borrecas. So this is going to work out perfectly. It's perfectly portioned. So now I grab my chilled guava. I separated 8 ounces, and I'm scoring it the same way I did with the cream cheese. I just scored it to make 3 portions lengthwise, and then I'm going to take this plate, I'm going to turn it a quarter turn, and then I'm going to cut it straight down the middle, and then each side will get 2 more cuts. So we're going to score it, and then we're going to go ahead and just cut through. So then there we go. We're cutting once, and then we're cutting again. So then we have 9 cubes on one side, and then we're cutting once, and we're cutting again, 9 cubes on the other, for again a total of 18, the same amount of cubes that I have of cream cheese. 18 of guava paste, 18 of cream cheese. So now it's time to portion our dough, and I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to grab my dough. I'm going to make somewhat of a rectangle out of it so that I can do the same exact process with my dough. And I'm just going to score it, and then I'm going to cut it in 3 as equal as I can parts lengthwise. I'm going to do the same thing, turn it a quarter turn. I'm going to go ahead and score it and cut it down the middle just to separate both sides. And then again, I'm going to do the same, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And that way when I cut it, I'm going to end up with 9 pieces on one side, 9 on the other, for a total of 18 pieces of dough. So now we have everything perfectly portioned out. Now, you're just going to grab each little piece and very gently just kind of roll it into a rough ball, and then you're going to place that right back into your bowl. Notice I am hardly handling it. And then I'm doing the same for all 18 pieces. I'm going to put them in that bowl. If one is a little bigger than the other, you can pinch off a little piece, add it to the other. The dough is very forgiving. And once again, just now loosely cover your bowl, and then prepare your large baking tray with parchment paper. And then now would be a good time to preheat your oven to 350 degrees and make sure you have a rack placed in the center. So now you're going to grab 1 portion of your dough and we're going to start shaping. So I keep it loosely covered so the dough does not dry out while I'm working. I use the hard part of my hand and my fingertips. And of course, I can use my beautiful handheld roller, or I can use a rolling pin, whatever I'm more comfortable with. I like working with a combination of my fingers and the handheld roller, but whatever works for you is fine. And you're looking to make either a circle or an oval shape. And then you're going to grab a piece of cream cheese that's chilled, and I flattened it out with my fingertips and then placed it right on the dough. I have a moist paper towel nearby, and I just wipe my fingers after I do that process. Then I grab one of the cubes and I kind of butterfly it, just cut it open, cut it in two, place it right on top of that cream cheese. Then you see how I hold the filling in when I turn the dough over onto itself. Then I press the two pieces of dough together to form one. Then I'm going to grab my borreca and I'm going to flute those beautiful edges. I'm going to braid the edges. I'm going to do what we call amongst our friends the pinchifol, pinch and fold. So that's all you're going to do. Make like a half moon shape, and this one's ready. We're going to place it right on the parchment paper lined tray, and we're going to move on. I'm going to show you one more time so you see what to do. You just grab it, cover the bowl again, use your fingertips, the hard part of your hand, anything that sticks to the counter, just put it right back onto the dough. The dough is super forgiving. And then you can roll it with your handheld roller, grab your cream cheese. This time I'm showing you. You see how I just kind of flattened it out with my fingertips? So you want to do that, place it in the center, wipe your fingers clean. You see how I leave a rim of dough around? So that's what you want to do. I grab one cube, cut it. I can put it either lengthwise, horizontally, vertically, whatever you're more comfortable with. Then you're going to grab the dough, hold that filling in, and flip the dough over onto itself, and then press the two ends together. And if you have a little hole, just patch it up. This dough is super forgiving, so any little hole that forms, take a little piece of dough and make a patch. You're not even going to notice it once it bakes. Then you're going to go ahead and do the pinch and fold all around the edge, and we're good to go. Here's the second one. We're going to place it right on our tray, and the idea is to continue to do that until you formed 18 delicious guava and cream cheese borrecas. Super easy, and you saw how quickly the dough and that filling comes together. It's super easy. Do not be intimidated, and they're so good. It's well worth the effort. Look at how gorgeous these 18, and these aren't even baked yet. Look at how gorgeous they look, filled with guava and cream cheese. They're absolutely phenomenal. So now you want to grab an egg, crack it into a bowl, beat it well with a fork, and then what we're going to do is we're going to give all 18 of these beautiful guava and cream cheese borrecas an egg wash. You want to make sure you get that fluted edge and all. You want the whole borreca, the whole top side just covered in that beautiful egg wash. Then you're going to grab a long, thin knife, and you're going to cut two small vents into that top dough so that when it bakes, that hot guava and cream cheese can just release some steam through that dough and they won't pop open. It's just going to be perfect. So then you place it on a center rack in your oven, and you're going to set a 30-minute timer to allow them to bake. And your kitchen is going to smell incredible. And then after 30 minutes, you're going to pull them out, and they are gorgeous. The smell is sensational. My grandmothers would be proud. They are absolutely beautiful. Look at that gorgeous one on the end. Look at that beautiful braiding on the edge. And that golden color. The camera doesn't do them justice. This is what they look like. Gorgeous, golden, absolutely beautiful pockets of love. So you want to carefully, not like I'm doing, you probably should use a spatula of some sort, carefully remove them onto a cooling rack. It's very important they cool down because you do not want to bite into a borreca that has hot guava inside. It will burn you because of its high sugar content. So you need to allow it to cool down a bit before you indulge. And just look at how gorgeous this borreca looks. It's perfect. It's golden. It's got that incredible flaky exterior. It's just absolutely divine. And that filling, oh my, I cannot wait to take a bite. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And anyone you serve these to is going to be in awe. And really, they're not that hard to make. You saw it wasn't that difficult at all. And we end up with a gorgeous guava and cream cheese borreca. Mmm. Not only gorgeous, but sensational tasting. Look at the inside of this guava and cream cheese borreca. That guava is melted along with the cream cheese. The dough is flaky and perfect. It is so crazy good. It just flakes off. It's absolutely phenomenal. Mmm. Mmm. Thank you to my incredible abuela Violeta, who taught me how to make this dough when I was no more than 10 or 11 years old. I love creating these fusion dishes, these Cuban-Jewish mashups, and I know that she would be proud. She'd be savoring this with me right now, and so would my other grandmother, because they loved borrecas and they both made incredible ones. So I really hope that I am making them proud. I have a feeling I am. It's just so crazy good. You see how that beautiful guava filling just kind of spills out? It's still warm, but not piping hot, so it won't burn me. Crazy good, crazy delicious. Yum. So did I tell you that these were going to be amazing or what? They are so crazy good. I don't know how I even stopped to be able to talk to you because I just want to keep on eating this. It is so absolutely delicious, filled with that guava that just kind of melts into that cream cheese. It almost tastes like a guava cheesecake filling. It's so, so tasty. And I've had people that don't even like cream cheese eat these, and they don't even realize it's cream cheese because something happens to that cheese when it cooks with the sugars and the guava paste. It really just tastes like a guava cheesecake stuffed inside of a flaky, amazing dough. I mean, you can't get better than that. This is absolutely delicious. Trust me. No, better yet, don't trust me. You're going to have to try to make this recipe yourself. And of course, if you've enjoyed today's recipe, don't forget to like it, to write me a sweet comment, to share it with your friends. Thank you so much for doing that. I really, really appreciate it. And I love hearing from you. And of course, if you're not following me here on YouTube, stop what you're doing, go over, subscribe, touch the little notification bell so that you get notified every time I put out a yummy, delicious, absolutely crazy good recipe, which I do all of the time. And head over and explore under my playlist tab. I have tons of recipe videos out there, hundreds for you to explore, but they've broken down into playlists to make it easier for you to find. This you'll find in the Sephardic-Turkish playlist. And there's so many other yummy things for you to explore there. And of course, if you're not following me on social media, be sure to follow Sally That Girl in the Kitchen everywhere. You can find all of the links to all of my social media and to my Amazon shop in the banner of my YouTube channel, or you can go over to Sally That Girl in the Kitchen on Facebook and on Instagram. And I have pinned to the top a link tree with all of the different links to my Amazon shop, where you can find a lot of the things that I use to make these yummy borrecas and other videos. And you can find the links to all of my social media pages so you know how to find me, and you're sure to follow me everywhere. And of course, if you ever have a question or you just want to shoot me a little message, send me a picture. If you made these, I want to see your results. So send me a picture through Instagram or Facebook Messenger, because I would absolutely love hearing from you. So once again, I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm gonna go eat this. Sally That Girl in the Kitchen.